Steve, what are they saying in Germany regarding Lucien Favre?
Well, I think for the most part, he's very disappointed in his team. I think he thought, and everybody thinks, that Borussia Dortmund was further along than they are this year in these big games. And to be fair to Bayern Munich, they show up in these big games. They know which games to win. And we look at the schedule as well. You put Champions League in there in the mix as well. So it's a huge result for Bayern Munich. And obviously, I think what I said before, I think Lucien Favre and the rest of the Dortmund community are more disappointed in this team than they are shocked.
This is the problem, though. You're up against a side that hasn't won all season, Kasey. This should be a layup for a side that considers themselves real title contenders, yet it is absolute schoolboy defending for both goals that are carbon copies of each other, and surely the fault has to lay at the coach's door.
Well, I think it's always a combination. I mean, yes, the coach will always take a lot of the blame, but the players have to be able to motivate themselves against the teams and the games that they're expected to win. And Dortmund played all right. They lacked the energy that Cologne showed. And what's rule number one of any big club playing against another club that they're supposed to win? They have to match the energy first and then let their quality show through, and Cologne upped their energy against Dortmund, and eventually Dortmund made the substitutions. They brought on Moukoko, they brought on Gio Reyna and Hazard, and it had an instant influence. They got a goal, they got a lifeline, but for 70 minutes, Cologne didn't have a lot of the ball. They didn't create a lot of chances. You heard the guys talking about the defending off of the set pieces that gave Cologne the 2 goals. But in the end, Cologne fought, and they fought hard, and they made things difficult for Dortmund. And on a normal day, yeah, Dortmund win this game comfortably, but give Cologne some credit. But then also, Dortmund has to do better in those kind of matches and match the energy and give themselves a better opportunity to win. In the end, yes, they should have at least gotten a point out of it. Holland scores that goal, 9.9 times out of 10. But for 70 minutes, Cologne made things difficult.
There seems to be a certain amount of almost nonchalance around this Dortmund side. We saw it against Hertha Berlin as well, Stephen. Oh, we won't score in the first half. We'll get it going. We'll get it going eventually, and we'll get the goals. Haaland will get it. He'll save us, or someone else will. There doesn't quite seem to be the drive or the focus that is necessary to really contend with Bayern this season.
That's a great word. Focus is exactly what you need when you're talking about in the opponent's penalty box or in your own penalty box. That is where games are decided. And those were the big games that are decided, especially for the the championship. As this game, I think we will be talking about this game or this week at the end of the season. This is the one that got away from Dortmund, and hopefully for them, it's not the points that got away that decide this championship. But it is being focused and being mentally strong in your box and in the opponent's box was what decides games. And Robert Lewandowski and the back line of Bayern are right at the moment are just better than Borussia Dortmund is in these areas.
Yeah, that leads us on nicely, Steve, to the game that you called for the World Feed at this weekend. Bayern Munich with that victory against Stuttgart. Far from pretty from the defending champions, but doing what Dortmund couldn't, and they got the job done.
Absolutely. This is what in German is a great saying. It's called an Arbeitssieg. It's just one of those things you get to the office and get the work done and do the little things right, and you'll come out on top. Certainly, Bayern looked fatigued, as Dortmund did as well. This tough schedule for these top teams is really taking a toll on these players. But in the moments that they needed to be there, they were there. And just classic Bayern, we've seen this time and time again.
And we have seen it, but we see it time and time again with other teams, don't we, Kasey? The likes of Juventus, PSG, Liverpool of late as well. Yet all of them have faltered. All of them have given up points. Yet Bayern, with the exception of one loss and one draw, have won every other game domestically, and their machine-like progress just continues.
Well, first of all, you have to look at their squad. They obviously have the strongest squad in Germany. And right now, squads are being tested, particularly teams that are in Europe, because the games are coming thick and fast. Champions League is rolling right along, throwing some international games in there. And Thomas Müller was quoted after this match, and he gave a kind of an English Premier League quote. The championship credentials are tested on a windy night in Stoke. And this game for them against Stuttgart, a very dogged Stuttgart who started this season well and made things difficult, was that windy night in Stoke for this Bayern Munich team. They found a way to win. Now, let's go back to Dortmund. Dortmund tried to change their game by bringing in a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old, and then Torgan Hazard. Bayern brought in Douglas Costa and Sané. You know, they brought in a couple very, very good players, tested, been around the block, and Douglas Costa got the third goal, which then eased Bayern Munich into the victory. So I think if you look at the squad depth, you look at the experience of that squad depth, of course, Bayern Munich are tried and tested to win another Bundesliga title.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.